floor is yours.
Hey, everybody, welcome to the NASCAR Burn It Down podcast. Post Watkins Glen, one more race to go, and that's Daytona
And
in the
then,
regular
and
season.
this is what we wanted. We wanted a repeat winner going
Yeah.
into this race, and it's going to be hectic, I think, because this is their last chance of anything. So I expect so much intense racing, especially near the end.
I was going to say, I think stage one, stage two is
To
going to
be
be relatively calm, almost Pied Piper, follow the leader, just
I expect
stage
everybody.
three.
I expect people want to stay in the front, so they're out of the back of potentially getting caught up in an accident. So I expect people like Bubba and Blaney and Truex to try to be up front and contend for one, playoff points, and two, just that's the less chance of getting in trouble unless you're going to stay a half lap back. But that's the potential of getting lapped. So it's
You put those three in and irritate any one of them, and you've got the big one in the first lap.
yeah.
I'm just saying, I think they're going to mind their P's and Q's until they get down to stage three. I think the last 15 laps are going to be epic. I think it's going to end up being demolition derby. I think we're going to have more than one big one, and for all the reasons you stated, it's the last chance for Blaney. Well, Blaney can make it on points. It'll be interesting to see, like, say, if Truex gets taken out early in the race.
He'll just sit
I
back.
say, I say he'll fall all the way to the back. Just stay there.
But then he's also risking someone else winning and then knocking him out. Like there's a graphic that I found that when we get to the Daytona real talk that I'll bring up that who have to win to get in, and it's like 10 drivers. Or Blaney and them can just, sit back. So like when we get to that point, I'll bring it up, and if Truex does crash out or vice versa, Blaney crashes out, yeah, they can sit back, but they're also given a chance to Bubba the win or a Michael McDowell the win. They're giving them chances who are good at restrictor plate races. And we all know this is one of those races where anybody can win. Look at
it is.
So I don't think they'll sit back. Maybe they'll sit back till the end, like, with 20 laps to go, and then they'll do a Junior or a Earnhardt or a Stewart type thing just to go up front. But I don't think they'll sit back until the whole race. They may play it safe until the end.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to watch the strategy because, like you said, there will be people I just did a quick head count. It looks like
I have the graphic
16,
right here.
16 from 30 is 14. There's 14 other people that are eligible. You got to be in the top 30.
Okay, there's a graphic here. It says path to the playoffs. I know we're getting ahead of ourselves, but this is honestly the topic besides the Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott thing. Blaney and Truex do not have to win to go to the playoffs, but only one of them but must win at Daytona. It's Eric Jones, Eric Almirola, Austin Dillon, Bubba Wallace, Christopher Buescher, Justin Haley, Michael McDowell, Ricky Stenhouse, Cole Custer, Brad Keselowski, Harrison Burton, Ty Dillon, and Todd Gilligan. And the other two that can't win, they're completely eliminated, is Corey LaJoie and Cody Ware. Everybody else, those guys can win, and that's a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 13. 13 drivers can win and get in. That's a lot of people.
That's what I just said. There's 13 others. And the reason is because Kurt Busch is 22nd in points.
Yep, and he's with what happened last week was Kyle Larson winning. They guarantees him a berth because he won.
Yeah, and he will stay even with missing Daytona. He will stay. Yep. I mean, he's clinched. I don't know. It'll be interesting. But anyway, let's do our shtick and then we'll get talking. The Glen, Your winner's Kyle Larson. Second was AJ Allmendinger. And I'll tell you what, Joey Logano, what the hell? Where'd he come from? Started like 20th.
Strategy. Same thing with Tyler Reddick. I took him out of my lineup when he spun out and was dead last. I'm like, well, that's right before stage 2. I'm going to take him out. Screwed me by points, like 20 points.
Well, thank you very
You're
nice.
welcome. Yeah, I know. I was so mad when I'm like, damn, maybe I thought in my head, maybe he might come back, and then he did. So it was all strategy. It was good for them.
All right, Elliot was in 4. Suarez, McDowell, Tyler Reddick, Christopher Bell, Chris Buescher, and Eric Jones round out your top 10. Any notables that did horrible? Kurt Busch. Where'd he
You mean
end
Kyle?
up?
Kyle.
Or Kyle, excuse me, 32nd.
He had a bad.
Bubba had even worse day, finished 35th. All your international hyped up, yeah, this is so cool. They all finished like
Bad.
30th or below.
Yeah.
There wasn't a single one of them.
Rockefeller 30th, Hazeman, Loris 33rd, Daniel Kivat.
Don't forget
36.
about Joey Hand because he was a ringer too.
Kimi Raikkonen 36. I'm talking about especially for this race. Those are like the ones that just for this race.
And that Kyle Tilley.
Yeah, so most of them they didn't like 30th or worse. And like I said, it's not.
Was it Kimi Räikkönen? Man, he hit the shit out of that wall.
Yeah.
That was amazing. But anyway, Keselowski was 19th, Byron 22nd, Chastain 21st.
Guys that needed the win. Ryan Blaney 24th, Truex, where did he finish?
23rd.
23rd. So
Ty Gibbs had, respectable at a 26, but anyway, that's Watkins Glen.
But he had a motor change too, where he blew a motor, and so he couldn't. It was too much for him to come back.
Right.
From practice or.
And we've pretty much covered the standings end of things. We all know Chase Elliott sewed up the regular season championship. He is the man there.
Yep.
As of right now, Kyle Larson is in 2nd, Blaney's 3rd, Logano is 4th, Chastain is 5th, Truex Jr., Christopher Bell, Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch, William Byron tops out your top 10 in regular season points. So,
yeah, those are all by playoff is Chase now Kyle Larson. He passed Chastain. That's Logano, Byron, Harvick, Hamlin. Yeah. Hamlin, Blaney, then Reddick, then Bell, Briscoe, Kyle Busch, Kurt Busch, Suarez, Cindric, and Bowman. And last, only one spot left. And now that is Ryan Blaney's until Daytona. And Daytona, we talked about, is a wild card.
Yeah. That is absolutely true. It is an absolute crapshoot. Why have they got... I'm looking at playoff ranks, and they don't have Blaney.
Hey, Blaney.
Why they got him?
Ryan Blaney's technically like 8th off points. It's because it's because of stage point.
Hey.
Based off stage point.
Okay. So if I go to points, it still cycles him out. Anyway, that's NASCAR.com for you. But we know who's in.
Yep.
And again, it's going to be one of our little topics of discussion coming up. On the fantasy league, I finally beat you.
Like I said, that was
points.
Like I said, that was my fault when Reddick got spun during that bus stop or whatever. He went to the dead last. I'm like, even in my head, I'm like, he could come back, but it's right before stage 2 where you got to trade. So I had Byron, and I'm like, well, Byron's probably on the same pit cycle and strategy as Chase and Kyle, so he'll come back up, and that didn't work. That didn't happen. Reddick came back up to be top 10, so congrats. And it's whatever.
I actually had Blaney in the garage, and I took Byron out. I just didn't have the warm fuzzy about him, but I had Elliot, Larson, Blaney, Suarez, and Riddick. And I really suck at this head-to-head thing. Who'd have thought Harrison Burton would have finished in front of Todd
Well,
Gilliland?
Todd Gilligan blew a motor or something with his drivetrain. I think it was drivetrain. So that really wasn't like an outrace thing. But yeah, I didn't. I think me and you had the same head-to-heads.
And I picked Chase over Tyler, which that was a winner. And I actually picked Blaney over Harvick just because I thought he'd be. Anyway, I only got one right on that. So that was 30 points that I tossed away right there.
Me and you had the same. I look. We had the same exact picks. So came down to our actual drivers we picked.
All right. Let's talk about Watkins Glen. Before we get to the big one, I want to cover a few other things because we're going to talk a little bit about the family feud. One thing I did want to talk about is obviously Kyle Larson. I think it was the first person to sweep Watkins Glen in like 13 years, something of that nature.
I don't know. Probably that sounds about right.
It was. Yeah, I think it was actually Kyle Busch that did it the last time. I could be wrong on that. And then Ty Gibbs and Byron wrecking on the last lap.
Mm-hmm.
That was, I don't know if you watched that race, but that was hilarious. Kyle Larson's like, oh shit, look at me, I'm first place now.
Well, I was personal stuff. I was dropping off Summer, and then I came back. I did something. I don't know what happened. I came back, and I'm like, Larson's in the lead. What the hell happened? So I had to go on Twitter and see what happened with Ty Gibbs and Byron, and I'm like, oh shit, that really wasn't that situation.
That was just
racing. That was nobody's fault. They're going through the bus stop. They're not giving each other room, and they just lost it and just gave it
it's the last lap.
Yeah, so
I mean, come
that
on.
was nobody's fault.
Everyone's saying, you know, whatever happened to rubbing his racing is my point. It's like, come on, guys, quit. Just stop it. I mean, I want the guys to wreck their grandma to win the race if that's what they have to do. And to a subject we're going to get up to, I don't give a good goddamn if it's their teammate or not.
Yep.
So, Daniel Hemrick in that race also, again, what a smash into the tire barrier.
I like how they showed the Jimmy Johnson one where he jumped over the sand right into the barrier and he jumped out. Woo!
Isn't it funny how that's the most famous thing he's done?
Well, it was a hell of a crash and he came out unscathed. So it was one of those, you know, feel good moments that the barriers worked, and it was a crazy crash because he literally jumped over the sand right into the barriers, and it was a crazy looking crash.
He was four wheels in the air on that one. Yeah,
so it's one of those. It was pretty cool. It's just a little flashback to nobody remembers Jimmy Johnson in the Xfinity or Busch series. That was a cool little flashback.
I thought so too. I do took note that the biggest field so far this year, they had 39 cars in the race, but that was only because of all your international celebrities that didn't do shit.
Another little side note, kind of like we're segue, but I'm not. We'll come back. You know how there, you know, more charters, or you know, people are trying to buy charters, or you know, juniors possibly buying RCR or whatever. It went from $13 million a charter, now it's $20 million a charter.
Because they can't get people in the seats in the stands. That's why they need the money.
It's gone up in price. That's a lot just to buy a freaking car to go race. Spots.
Let's see. Yeah, we talked about Kurt clinches, Larson back to back. Overall, what was your?
I thought it was a good race. I had no problem with the racing. It was great, good racing. It was intense. It's butt up or shut up time. It's end of the playoffs. This is your chance. I like McDowell leading, doing his thing. I enjoyed it. Even though I'm a Chase Elliott fan, Hendricks guy, I had no problem with I get into it, but Larson doing what he did. Down to it.
I like that they actually started it in the rain on wet tires.
And I wish they would have started it earlier.
There's no way. Some of those corners were literally 6 inches deep in water. Couldn't do it.
Tough shit. You built this car, and you need to go test it, and then you're gonna wait till it's damp.
Right.
Let them go.
But I thought it was cool that they actually did race in the rain for what 15, 20 laps, and then they
Yeah,
started changing.
and I did like how that new tire, wet rain tire, is still good on dry, but obviously not. It's not like the
Oh,
old.
once the guys started putting on the slicks, they had no choice.
Yeah,
They had to come in
yeah.
because they were gaining 8, 9, 10 seconds a lap on them.
Yeah, that's why Briscoe came. And
Um,
when they started coming in, I know they didn't want to do it. They had their strategy for pit stops and blah blah blah. But when Briscoe came in, I'm like, everybody needs to start coming in because he's gonna catch them so quick, and nobody did. And look what happens.
yeah. Um, no, I was impressed with the race. I was impressed they got it all in. I think they would have actually started the race just a little bit earlier, except for that lightning
Yeah, the
strike. And I guess
lightning.
the rule is
30
from the
minutes.
last lightning strike, you got to wait 30
Yeah,
minutes
that's
for
not just a
safety's sake.
NASCAR rule. That's a sport and United States sports rule.
Is it?
Yeah, that's not. That's a general United States sports rule.
Okay. All right. One more thing, and then we'll get into the big thing that everybody's losing their shit over.
They're blown.
You picked Reddick for the win. He was 7th. I picked Truex. He was 23rd. You picked McDowell as the dark horse. I took LaJoy. He was 27th. you kind of killed me on that one.
McDowell only finished
We both
24th.
got the. Huh?
McDowell only finished 24th.
He was 6th.
Oh, I'm looking at points. Sorry.
Yeah, he was 6th. Bubba finished 35th, so we called that one right. No top 20 for you, buddy. And Denny actually finished 20th, and so we got that one right as far as him finishing in the technically by a hair.
And anybody
hanging on
that's
with
just listening about the Denny watch, it's because the very beginning of the season, it was either hit or miss. He was crashing or blowing a motor or blowing a tranny or winning. So when he was literally 25th in points, so we called him Dark Horse Denny. So now we have a Denny watch to see where he's finishing. So it's one of those. Next year, it'll probably be somebody else. Just saying. And Bubba is just Bubba because overhyped.
We love picking on Bubba.
Yeah.
So
It's nothing personal. It's just funny.
well, no,
It's not personal.
it's not personal. It's called calling out an overrated
Hey,
talent.
he got a contract extension.
Well, happy birthday. Way to go, Michael. I guess you got the money. I don't know. All right, let's get into it. Larson and Elliot. First corner, last lap. Kyle sends it in there and gives no mercy to
His teammate.
little Chase, his teammate. Now, I like you. I am a Chase fan. I'm also a Larson fan, and I've got a
Correct.
few other guys that I really like, but I'm not an unfan of either one of them. What really got me irritated this week is, of course, on Monday they have their Monday meeting, and Kyle got out of the car and he said, "Hey, I'm not proud of that." And the only reason he's not proud of it is because it was his teammate. If it was anybody else,
if
besides
it
him,
was Bubba,
Byron,
could you imagine the more shit? But
anyway, they had their team meeting on Monday, and I think that if I was Kyle Larson, I'd have said, "Do you want me to quit?" I mean, because I've got a resume now. I'll go drive for somebody else next year.
yeah,
What they basically told him is, if you're in that situation again, don't do that again. All right, whoa, what the, just what?
I haven't
for-
heard the transcript, but all I heard from his interview is he did more listening than talking.
He was told, basically, don't do that again. Team orders.
Good luck.
Now,
Good luck.
The only way that I might agree with that is if Chase had no wins.
Yeah, yes.
And he this was his opportunity to get his win and get into the chase. And if Kyle had taken him out like that with a win under his belt, All right, fine. If I'm Mr. Hendricks, if I'm Jeff Gordon, I'm going to sit him down and say, hey, son, we know you're here to win, but you don't do that to a teammate with 2 races to go that is fighting to get in the chase.
Yeah.
Elliot's got, what, 4 or 5 wins?
4 or 5, yeah. I think it's 4.
I'm sorry. Put your big fucking boy pants on and quit acting butthurt like you were abused. And they're saying, well, he was taken off guard. Well, that's on him. He's a pro. Don't tell me you were off guard. It's the last lap of the race, and you didn't expect anybody to touch you, race you, and Larson didn't take him out. He just took the position and he moved him up 2 or 3 lanes. Could he have moved him up a lane? Maybe.
Well,
I don't care.
Larson did go in hot. I don't think he meant to go in that hot because his right front locked up, which made him slide. He didn't mean to do that. He meant to get him in hot, like you said, put him in lane up and make it a race. He didn't mean to do that extravagant of a move.
I don't care what he meant to do and what he didn't mean to do. The one thing on his mind is win the damn race.
Exactly.
He didn't care whether that was Elliot outside of him, Corey LaJoie, Michael McDowell. You pick any one of the other 38 drivers. I don't care. He didn't care. He was there last lap. I got to win this.
Yep.
And it just happened to be precious golden boy. I'm getting to think he's a prima donna as much as Jeff Gordon was, back in the day. And right here, I'm a Jeff Gordon fan, but I am sick and tired of the media. I had to turn Sirius NASCAR radio off this week because everybody was calling and bitching about Kyle Larson. How can one guy take a teammate out like that? Well, number one, he didn't take him out. He moved him over.
Mm-hmm.
He took the race from him. It's racing. And the other thing that really irritates me is, like I said, the organization came down on him.
I haven't heard that. I'd like to see a transcript. Obviously, they're going to keep that closed, but I find it hard to believe that they told him don't do that again. I'm like, I'm winning the race. It's my chance. I don't know. If I was Kyle Larson, I would have defended myself. But from only thing I heard from the interview, what Kyle said, apparently he did more listening than talking. Now,
what's he gonna say? I was trying to win the race, and
that's
my
what I
teammate was in the way.
Yeah. So I can understand Chase's point of view, but I also understand Kyle's. I am non-partial to either, and if I was in Kyle Larson's shoes, I would have done the same exact thing.
And I hope he does it again.
And if I was Chase Elliott, I'm sorry, you should have done the win. You shouldn't have expected him to give you leeway. You already have 4 wins. He has 1. You both have 1 championship.
Like I said, the one exception would have been to me where they came down on him was if Chase hadn't had a win yet. And he needed that win to get in. But I also think if that was the scenario, Larson wouldn't have raced him the way he did. And I also say that the only way Larson should feel bad is if he actually wrecked him. Mm-hmm. And he didn't wreck him. All he did was move him.
Yeah, and he finished 4th.
He finished 4th. Oh, I'm sorry. Congratulations for being the regular season champion.
Yeah.
Yeah, Oh, and your number 1 seed with the most playoff points going into the chase. I mean, come on.
Obviously, like I said, I feel for both. And I'm not taking anybody's sides. I can see it from both. I see it more Kyle's side than Chase's, but I'm not mad or upset either way. I think a lot of the media and a lot of people are blowing it out of proportion about Chase Elliott and being crybaby, blah, 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 but you would be too. I'm sorry, you would be fucking hot and pissed too. Now,
well, he had all Sunday to be pissed. Monday came, fine, it's over. Yeah. Let's move on.
Yep.
But
I also expect Chase not to give Kyle Larson any wiggle room anymore for the rest of the season.
No, I wouldn't. But we're going into the chase. You don't expect anybody to give anybody any wiggle room.
Nope.
Period. It is what it is. Now it's go time. Because if you don't stay in the top 12, then the top 8, and then you're going home and you don't have nothing. So I don't know. I don't think that Kyle Larson did
No,
anything wrong.
I don't either.
The only mistake that he may have made in execution is locking up that front wheel. But he still controlled the car enough. He did not wreck
Yes.
Elliot.
Nope.
And I promise you, if it was anybody else besides Byron or Larson or what's his face, the other car, I can't.
Bowman.
Bowman. No, this wouldn't even be a discussion. He's like, hey, did what he had to do to get the win. Woo woo, way to go.
Well, wasn't it early in the year? I could be right wrong. Didn't Chase kind of cut Larson off at an earlier race this year, like Atlanta? Larson was coming on the outside, and Chase kind of cut him off. I could be wrong.
I think it was Atlanta. Maybe it was Nashville.
I can't remember, but Chase did it to him, and he said he didn't see him, which he was coming in hot. I can't remember. It might have been vice versa, but I remember the same thing. You cut him off, not realizing it was early in the year. I do know it was those two got each other, but the same thing. You stopped him from winning. You hindered his car, but he didn't crash you. I had to go watch and see if when that was, but
like I said, I think the media is making a lot bigger thing out of it.
It's a story.
All the wrong.
It's a story going into Daytona. A story going into the Chase.
Gordon and Hendrick didn't help anything anyway.
Yeah, they went
theoretically taking Chase's side and telling Kyle he screwed up. When if anything, it's like, all right, congratulations on the win. I hope you realize things could have been a little bit differently, but congratulations. That's all they had to say instead of basically telling him, don't do that again.
If they've told me not to do that again, I would just like, all right, well, I'm going to now. What are you going to do? Fire me? I guarantee you I can get another ride. He might not have this. He can get another ride. Yeah, sponsorship may be hard because of whatever, but he's slowly gaining sponsors back. So I'm sorry. Tony Stewart would drop anybody right now for Kyle.
Oh, yeah. Which I think is, we'll get into that too. But anyway, like I said, I want to put my 2 cents in on that. It's just, I think it's bullshit. I think that it's just good racing.
It's blown out of proportion, and that's all that the pre-Daytona bullshit's going to be this weekend that's all it's going to be. And I'm not going to get tired of it. I'm probably not going to watch the pre-race because it's going to try. They're going to try.
I'd rather watch Austin Dillon before I watch what's going to happen and I hate
Austin Dillon.
No,
I can't watch that. I think I've watched one episode and they're trying too hard to. No, thank you.
I made it about 10, 15 minutes
now,
into
that new show they're coming out with on September 1st that's following the actual racers and the racetracks, like a documentary type series. I actually want to watch that. That's going on USA.
Okay.
Not what it's called.
I'm not sure that I saw that one, but
it's called The Race for the Championship. Yeah, Race for the Championship NASCAR docuseries coming to USA starting in September.
They say who they're following?
Kyle Larson, Joey Logano, Brad Keselowski, Kyle Busch.
Ooh, they better stop wasting their film on Keselowski.
Well, they want to do Keselowski because they've been filming all year. It's just because he went to a new team, numbered, owner. I'm trying to look at this real quick. Among the featured are Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, Kyle Busch, Joey Logano, Brad Keselowski. The 10 episodes are set to feature Ryan Blaney, Daniel Suarez, Ross Chastain, Corey LaJoie, and others working to add their way to respect legacy.
Okay.
It'll be interesting. Watch. I hope it's good. It looked good from at least the previews.
All right, you ready to move on to Daytona?
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't have a whole lot more on.
No, it was a good race. Like I said, that was obviously the big snafu, but like people are blowing it way out of proportion just to get it's a talking point.
Yeah.
The reason is it's heightened for the end of the race, end of the season, and it's two teammates and it's the two previous champions. That's why it's literally blown out of proportion. And two of the top drivers, in the league right now, it's just way blown out.
I agree. I absolutely agree. I mean, it's ridiculous to me, but It is what it is. Daytona. One little thing I think is going to be cool Friday night is Joe Nemechek is making a return in the Xfinity with John Nemechek, John Hunter. They're going to compete Daytona for Sam Hunt Racing. So they're going to be teammates. I just thought that was pretty cool.
We don't hurt himself. He's getting up there in age.
Yeah. Little other news and notes. I know, we were talking last week that supposedly Amarillo had signed the contract with Stuart Haas and was coming
he
back.
hasn't made a defined decision or whatever.
He
right?
has not done that yet.
Yeah.
He came out this week and said straight up, he says, I haven't signed anything.
Yeah, it's speculation.
Which again refuels the
Kyle Busch
speculation.
And apparently that's another thing coming out too. And I've heard a few things, and it's pretty much set in stone. Kyle's out, Ty is in. It hasn't been announced yet, obviously, because they don't want to wait. They want to let everything go until the chase happens. But I also heard...
I promise you, the day Kyle gets kicked out of the chase and the way things are, he will probably be out in the first or second round. That's when all the bricks are going to drop.
Yeah, and another thing I heard, it's not what he said. I think it's more or less an outside observation. And someone said, you know what? He's been waiting for this contract extension or new contract and sponsorship for 8 months. And if I was Kyle Busch and I got it, and Joe Gibbs came to me with a sponsorship or a deal in the 11th hour, I would say, fuck off. You waited this long? No, I already have another deal over here.
Well, and that leads me. There was a new name, actually 2 of them that were thrown into the mix this week. Actually, there was 3, and I laughed at the third one. But Colleague Racing. Now, I don't see that. Yeah, I don't see that. Of course, you and me more than you. I don't know whether you agree with me or not. I still believe it's going to be Stuart Haas.
I think it's Stuart, 100%. Either be the 41 or the 10.
Yeah, but another one that was brought to my that started bubbling up is Trackhouse.
Yeah, I said that too. I think I did.
I don't remember.
I think I brought it up with the 91.
Actually makes
sense. It's an open car.
Quite a bit of sense. Yeah. They've already got the car. They've got the charter. Just because they don't run it every single week. And the equipment's good. I mean, Suarez and Chastain are both proving it's not shoddy equipment. They're not breaking down. They're winning races.
It's Hendrick material. Trackhouse is Hendrick's.
But my point is it's not a baling wire and duct tape outfit. Yeah. They're doing it good. They got decent sponsors. I promise you, if Kyle Busch were to make a move over there, he may not make his $20 million, but he'd come within earshot of it. And of course we've heard the 23-11 scenario, but I don't know whether Denny and Michael are going to go out and get that third charter to make it happen. They might. I don't know, and there's not a whole lot of chatter on that. That's just been kind of bandied about. But the one that I heard that just cracked my ass up was Childress Racing. I'm like, are you kidding me? It wasn't too very long ago that Richard Childress had Kyle Busch in a headlock on pit road, literally pounding on him. Do you remember that?
Mm-mm.
It was a truck race, I believe.
I'd have to go back and look.
Richard G. He comes in, he takes off his wristwatch, comes up, gets him, puts him in a headlock, and starts pounding on him. Now, do you think that's a guy that's going to turn around and hire Kyle Busch? I mean, I know the scenario that they're pointing out is because Childress isn't happy with Tyler Riddick. He's made that publicly known over the last couple of weeks. He's extremely upset about that. But we also heard on the radio this weekend, it don't sound like him and his crew chief are exchanging Christmas cards this year either. They really kind of were terse with each other, and he still went out and got a top 10. And I still say that he won't be in that. Now, whether it's Austin Hill or whether it's somebody else, I really don't think that Tyler Reddick will be with Childress Racing next year. I really.
What you're talking about is a Camping World Truck Series in 2011 at Kansas Speedway.
Okay, it was the Truck Series then.
Yeah, I'm trying to find a video, but it did. Like I said, 2011. I was I young and dumb? I guess I wasn't that close attention.
You were working nights.
Yeah, working nights at Hostess. So,
but I don't think Mr. Childress would put Kyle Busch in one of his
you know
cars.
what? If I think it's 11 years ago, and if he brings them a championship or a chance to, better than Austin. Austin has no chance of happening. But like I said, I also think that Childress is getting ready to do other ventures and let Junior buy.
Oh, I'm putting a lot more credence into that rumor that Junior and Teresa are.
Go ahead. I want before you.
Kelly.
Yep.
Yeah, Junior and Kelly are looking very hard at buying Childress Racing because it is a part of their family heritage and history with Dale.
Yep. To go along with that, you know why he wants to go? Because there's a leaked document that happens, but you know why Junior wants to go in the NASCAR or the Cup Series when he said he never wanted to? He never wanted to compete with Hendricks and all that. You know why he wants to do it in 24? You're going to hate this, and I think NASCAR fans will hate this, is because NASCAR wants to make the Xfinity Busch Series an SUV series.
I hadn't heard that.
Yep.
An SUV series?
Junior even said it on his podcast.
Isn't the Truck Series basically an SUV series?
Because NASCAR wants to have a Cup car, a Cup SUV, and a Cup truck. So Junior's like, I'm not having a garage full of SUV race cars. So that's a leaked document that NASCAR wants to push in the future, that they make the Xfinity an SUV series.
Well, bye-bye.
They ain't gonna do shit if they do that. That's literally like I said, Junior, that's the big reason why Junior wants out of the Xfinity, because they're gonna try to push for that. Same thing with this electric car series. Why do you go to the racetrack?
To hear and smell
that car.
V8, yes.
You don't people, if you have never been to a racetrack, no matter where it is, the smell, the sound smell of the gas or exhaust, the smell of the tires, and the sound is one of a kind.
And the literal vibration of the
feeling
ground.
It's one of a kind. Now, let's go electric. You're not going to hear any of that. Yeah, you're gonna hear humming. You're gonna hear humming. If anything, you'll hear the tires on the track. You won't hear the wind. The cars breaking the wind. That's it. And you go to the track. That's just whatever. They can try to waste money on that. No one's gonna watch it. But
no.
Same thing with the SUVs.
Bill Gates might watch it.
And same thing with the SUVs. If that's a true thing.
An SUV. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
If that's a real thing, like I said, that's all. It was a leaked document, that's why Junior wants out, is because they want to turn the Xfinity to SUV series.
I'm honestly, that's the first I had heard of that one. I had not heard that. That's crazy. But I'd love to see Junior and Kelly Earnhardt Miller. Oh yeah,
I think they would propel.
Oh, absolutely. Speaking on, there was a weird thing that happened at JR Motorsports, and maybe this has something to do with that. But Pemberton quit
and
walked out.
And Kelly's husband took his position. Yeah.
Yep. And they're not saying why. They just said that Ryan Pemberton left, and he was a damn good crew chief back in the day. So I wonder if there's some domino things going on here, and all this kind of ties in together. I don't know that, but anyway, like I said, there's not much. We've done so much speculating on this.
Yeah.
But those are the two hot rumors. Is basically where Kyle's going and what Junior's doing. Uh, and I do think that after Kyle announces whatever he's going to do, and again, I don't think it'll come until he's out of the chase. And I really don't expect Kyle Busch to make it past the or he might, because he could steal a win at, say, Bristol again, Darlington. But once he's out of the championship run, that's the day after when we're gonna find out what's gonna go on there. And I hope I'm right. I hope he goes to Stewart, because I can see him. I mean, can you see the flags right now with Tony Stewart sitting there with his arms crossed, Kevin Harvick and Kyle Busch underneath, giving a there'll be flags and T-shirts, but and then of course this whole Childress thing and JR Motorsports, but
like I said, my dream scenario, the Kyle Busch thing, we can move on, is him leaving Joe Gibbs, him going to Stewart Haas, whichever car, it's fine by me, and then him bringing in Dodge, bringing them back. That would be my ultimate scenario. Him bringing in him and Stewart Haas, heading the Dodge and bringing them back into the sport. And I don't know.
Well, I've heard rumors that both Stewart Haas and Penske are talking to Dodge.
Man, I'd be crazy if Penske just did the switch back to him. But like I said, they have history with him. But that was Penske.
Kurt Busch won a championship with Dodge in the number 2, right? No, that was
Brad.
Roush. Brad did. Brad. Speaking of Penske, Logano's got a long-term contract signed.
And I wanted to comment on that. It says, Bubba, you were right. Ryan Blaney got an extension too.
Yeah, he got an extension. I think they've actually said how long Ryan Blaney's is. Logano, they won't disclose. It could be one of those lifetime things like Jeff Gordon had.
Maybe.
You need to shut up.
Logano really came into his own after coming. I think he came in way too early with Joe Gibbs. And then when he got to the 22, he's really come into his own, and he's a really good driver. I never liked him at first.
He got accelerated in because Tony Stewart went and.
Yep.
And they needed somebody that could drive.
Well, they tried to do a Kevin Harvick thing to him. Kevin Harvick jumped into the 3 unexpectedly, and Kevin Harvick, wheels running, won a race. Run races.
He won the very first race he raced in the 29 down at Atlanta.
Yep. So I think they were expecting that, and just Joey was just too young, wasn't ready.
He wasn't prepared. I remember back in that day, they used to do a lot more pre-Daytona, like when they would pick. They never used to, well, I don't want to say qualify, but for the shootout or the clash or whatever it was that they called it back then, they literally had all the guys that were eligible come in and pick out a number for their starting position, and it was sponsored by Budweiser, and he couldn't, because he wasn't 21 yet, pick his own number. They had to have Joe Gibbs or somebody, JD or somebody, come in and pick his number for him, because he could. That's how young he was way back then. I died. I'll never forget that. And then he made up the perfect. Well, Joey Logano's done some. After their clash at Michigan, when he said Delaney Harvick wore the fire pants suit in the family, and because she got all over him on pit road for wrecking Kevin. And then he was doing an interview with somebody, and this is one of the funniest lines they had. They had like promotional shirts for something, and they asked him, "What size are you?" He's a medium. But he's had some good ones through the years. But yeah, I'm glad to see him. He's got a home for as long as he wants to race, it sounds like.
What was the altercation with him and Bubba a week or so ago?
It was probably Bubba did something to him.
No, Logano did something to him, and there was an interview. God, what did he say? Bubba, they had a conversation, and Joey was in an interview, and he says, "Oh no, when he raced him hard, was Joey raced Bubba hard because of Bubba was second and trying to beat Harvick." The Harvick, can you finish?
Oh yeah, yeah. It was when Joey slowed him down so Harvick could win. Yeah.
Joey said in an Joey said in an interview when Bubba and them talked afterwards. Bubba goes, "You're just like Ryan Newman, but you have squinty eyes and you're more douchey." So they had a good conversation, but yeah, it was just funny. He's like, "You're just like Ryan Newman. You race hard, but you have squinty eyes and you're douchey."
Bubba or Joey said that?
No, Bubba said that to Joey. Because Joey has,
we didn't have to go to your mind class?
No.
Because that's a racial slur.
Yeah. But it was funny.
Ask Kyle Larson about that.
Well, even Kyle Busch, because he said retard about Brad Keselowski last year.
Yeah, he had to go get his mind fixed too.
But I thought that was a pretty funny interview.
You have squinty eyes and you're more douchey coming from him. Okay. All right, that's about all I have on news and views. I mean, obviously, we could sit here and beat the dead horse about who's got to win and who's got a chance, but we all know that Blaney's the only one that can get in on points. We know that Kurt Busch is in by default because he got the waiver to not have to have raced every single race, which is basically the waiver they gave his brother years ago when he broke his legs at Daytona in the Xfinity race and came back to win the championship that year. We know there's several in the top 30, 13 or 14 of them that could win and get in, and that would knock Blaney out. Quite frankly, you'll be able to tell when we do our picks why I think that's going to happen. Daytona Saturday night, like I said, I think it's going to be a wreck fest. There might be something happen in the first stage or two, but I really believe it's going to be everybody, most part, minding their P's and Q's until we get to stage 3. And it's going to be, in my opinion, the back half of stage 3 when it's going to be carnage.
I think it's all going to really depict what happens during the race. Because what if there's a big one, during the race and it takes out a lot of those guys? Yeah, they're going to sit back and wait. Now, if it's nobody's really crashed out and you're going to the end, I think it's going to be, it's going to be absolutely hectic, I think.
It's going to be insane. Whether there's a big one or two or not, it's good. It's going to be very intense.
Yeah, I'm looking right now
like I
for
said,
news.
I expect a couple of green-white checkers, maybe a red flag or two.
Here's an over-under we should do. Is there going to be a car flipped? Is there going to be a flipped car?
Yes.
I think so, too. Right now, I just looked at NASCAR.
Over-under.
Over-under? Oh, man, I don't know. Over one? Over 0.5, I would say, yeah, I think there's definitely gonna be a flipped car. But I just looked again to see if any news came up. We know Kurt Busch isn't driving. He also is doing a test somewhere.
Richmond, no.
He's doing a test somewhere, and NASCAR's allowing it to see how he reacts, his body reacts. So they'll evaluate, and it's obviously a good evaluation for him to come back first race.
Well, and being Darlington, you can take a hell of a hit there, too.
That's one news thing, but I looked up for just NASCAR news, and they had a betting odds for it, and 10-1 Chase, 12-1 Denny, 12-1 Joey, 12-1 Kyle, 12-1 Ryan Blaney, 14-1 Bubba, 14-1 Chastain, 14-1 Byron, 16-1 Kyle, 18-1. Everybody thinks all of them are gonna have the better. Like I said, it's a crapshoot anyway. No one
It
thought
is.
Cindric was gonna win Daytona 500, and if you put $500 on him, you'd be rich as hell right now. Other than that,
I
like I said,
agree.
there's really not much news besides people redoing contracts. It's gonna be like, we knew this week was gonna be kind of slow on news just because it comes with the chase. When the chase happens, a lot more news is gonna come out because of they're not in the chase, so they're gonna change drivers or chiefs or crews or whatnot. Starting next week, I think news is gonna.
Yeah, I think actually the main news is going to be the chase and the first cutoff. But like I said before, the second Kyle Busch is out of the chase for the championship, look out.
Mhm.
That is going to be a tsunami because once he moves, then you're going to have the 18 open up. And if it's not Ty Gibbs, you could see if Reddick gets knocked out in the first round, that he's gone.
Mhm.
And Childress makes a major announcement. There's a lot that's going to happen depending on who advances to the final 8 and then of course the final 4. But I don't expect unless something really bad happens at Daytona. A whole lot of news this week, other than we'll have our field set for the championship. That's about it.
Whenever that happens, I guess our only homework assignment is to make our mock 16 playoff. Who's
The second we have that 16th one, I pretty much got it in my head what
and
I
then
think's going to
who's
happen.
gonna make it the
but
12 to the 8? Like I said, that's what we need to. That's when that happens. That'll be our one of our things we talk about is our mock.
Yep, and why we think that we'll spend a lot of
Yeah.
time on that. But that'll be actually next
Yeah.
week when we do
Yeah,
Darlington.
that's what I'm saying.
Start for Darlington.
So when Daytona's over, your homework assignment for Monday, Tuesday is to get that draft going.
Yes, sir. I'm already on that.
I haven't even started it. It's just that's something we've talked about.
Yeah, I'm approaching it in an interesting way, and I'll explain that when we start doing it. But all right, for Daytona, give me your winner.
I'm gonna say Ryan Blaney. I think he finished second at Daytona. He knows how to do it in this car to be up there. I think he's fed up through the year of being second, pushing people to, he's tired of getting pushed around. I think he's going to say, screw it. This is my only chance. I'm not going to give anybody else the chance to knock me out. I think Ryan Blaney, yeah.
Okay. I'm going with Keselowski.
As your winner, not your dark horse?
Oh, it gets better. Yeah, that's my winner.
I can see Brad too. I'll say Brad is my dark horse.
All right.
It gets better. Oh boy.
My dark horse, Stenhouse.
That can easily happen.
And when we say dark horse, they have to be 25 in regular season points. I don't know what we're going to do when we get to the chase.
We can still do it. We don't have to choose chase guys. Same thing with the NASCAR, the fantasy live. They don't have to be chase drivers. It's all about points. True. We're talking about dark horses to win the race, and it doesn't have to be a chase driver. But we know they're going to have the top tier equipment because they're going to do their best to do. But it doesn't have to be them.
Does Bubba finish in the top 20?
I'll say no. He's going to try too hard, try to win. He's going to crash out.
Yeah, I'm actually going to pick him to stay in the top 20. How about Denny?
Yeah, Denny's he's always good at Daytona.
I say the same. I mean, I ain't beating you on anything this year anyway, so I might as well take some too. That hey, they know they've got to win to get in. I'm not trying to be Nostradamus here or anything, but I just don't have a warm, fuzzy feeling about Truex Jr. or Blaney
Making it.
and making it. I think there's going to be another first time winner. For a lot of the reasons you said, Blaney and Truex, this is, you know, you better have hair on your nuts for this one because, and they're going to try and they're going to try hard.
Yeah.
They've got to because they know. And you're looking at what, the second and fourth place cars?
Second and sixth, I think.
Second and sixth?
No, Ryan Blaney's third now. Kyle Larson passed him in points by 9. Truex is 6th.
Okay.
It's Elliot, Larson, Blaney, Logano, Chastain.
I just think when things start getting intense, those are the two of them that are going to try and make it or help to make it intense. You throw Bubba in there. You throw Keselowski.
If Brad has the same temperament as he did the Daytona 500, you better watch out for Brad's plow. He's not gonna let up. It's.
I love the memes that were going around after that race.
So, but watch out.
I just think that Blaney. I don't have a warm fuzzy feeling about Blaney or Truex. I think they're going to get caught up. And I'm not saying it's their fault, but their intensity level is going to be like you said. If they're not in the front, they're going to do whatever they have to. Now, whether they make a mistake or cut somebody off or something happens in front of them and they have to lift and they get run over, I mean...
Daytona is a very unpredictable, and it's hard to, especially when you're going that fast in a pack, you can't see literally in front of you. They can get caught up in so many accidents, and it wasn't even their fault. So... it's very probable that both they get knocked out and first time winner happens and they're both out.
Yeah.
That'd be a hard
honestly, that's my prediction for Daytona Saturday night is that we will have our 16th winner and it won't be Blaney or Truex.
Man, I would love it to be Brad to be actually.
I think it'd be kind of cool if it was Brad.
Could you just obviously fantasy land here? What if Brad actually won and then actually makes it to the final four? Fucking brings out the best for him. That'd be cool, but that's obviously fantasy land.
I admit, I'm not necessarily a big Keselowski fan.
I would like to see him succeed.
I remember when he was driving the number 2 car at Watkins Glen. Oh my God! When he wrecked and broke his legs, both of them. And I got to admit, some of the paint schemes are coming up for his car.
Like I said, he's probably has probably the one of the most best paint schemes, but it's a variety of paint schemes, and they're so cool. I actually enjoy a lot of his paint schemes.
He's got some really neat, sweet stuff. So, I would love to see him you know what? If you had to pick a first-time winner, in other words, someone that's gonna actually do it. I mean, I know we've picked a dark horse and what we think will be a winner, but who do you think? And let's say it's not any of the top tier drivers. Who do you think could break through? And it's got to be someone obviously in the top 30.
Hi, Dylan.
He can't. He's got to have. He got to be 30th in points.
Hi, Dylan in.
Oh, Ty Dillon. I was thinking Ty Gibbs.
Ty Dillon.
Yeah, that's not a bad pick. I was looking more at, say, a Chase Briscoe.
He's already in. On earlier.
Oh, darn, you are right. He's in. Cindric's in. All right. Where's Ty Dillon in points?
29th. He's down there. Harrison Burton, Ty Dillon, like I said, guy's first-time winner. Would be.
If I was looking at the right freaking thing. I was looking at fantasy racing shit.
Ty Dillon is 29th in point. Justin Haley would be a nice one.
Jeez. Yeah, Harrison Burton. I'd love to see like a Michael McDowell. That would be awesome to get him in again. Busher, I wouldn't mind seeing
Yeah.
Busher. He's been tough. I don't know. It's going to be an interesting race. That's for sure. I'll be watching both of them, the Xfinity and the Cup race. So, all righty. I think that pretty much covers it. I hope we have a safe race, and I think it'll be extremely interesting and very exciting. It might be a snoozer for 100 laps or so, but I think once we get the closer we get to the end, the and especially if say someone blows a tire and takes out a couple of guys, players, you know, say Blaney and Truex get taken out early. Now all of a sudden you got 13 other guys going, "Uh-oh, look out, here I come."
They
This
have
is
to
my
win.
shot.
Blaney and them. Blaney's just hoping nobody else wins. He's in by a point.
Yep. So, all right. I got nothing. I'm done.
I guess I can do the audio thing. You guys are listening, audio side or video side. We're on YouTube. Just search Burn It Down NASCAR podcast. We'll be up there. It's usually up there every Wednesday night after I get done recording. I usually try to upload. But if you're listening or watching on YouTube, you want to listen on the go, just Google Burn It Down NASCAR podcast. Is usually the first thing that pops up. But we are on RSS.com, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Samsung, Pandora, and Google. All you have to do is search Burn It Down NASCAR Podcast under the search tab or the podcast. Will be there. They're usually up on Wednesday night. I usually just sit here and get it done. So I do it the next day. So, other than that, yeah.
The only other thing I want to say is obviously after Daytona, the fantasy league resets and it goes into chase mode. So everybody has the same footing and the same chance. We all start at 0. And so I'd like to have more competition in that one. That'd be fun.
Yeah. NASCAR Fantasy Live, just Burn It Down NASCAR Podcast.
Yep.
Free to join. Got to make sure you pick your picks because if you don't miss a week, you're going to be behind.
That's a fact. So, all right. Everybody have a great week, and we will talk to you post Daytona and get you set up for the chase. And hopefully we have some really cool stuff to talk about.